So I'm going to tell you a whole different way of making jewelry, and this is absolutely wonderful. It's a whole new technique for you to learn. And it becomes an element of the jewelry, and actually it's used very strongly for decoration in many different pendants. You'll see it. You don't see it in rings much, but it can be used in rings as well, because what you're going to do is drill a hole between two pieces of metal and insert a rod. Essentially, the rod has to be almost the same size as the hole. That's very critical. And then you're going to take those two pieces of metal and hold them on top of a hard surface, usually a pointed surface of metal, and you're going to hit it and deform the top of it and the bottom of it. You're going to mushroom those pieces out, and they're going to compress, and the metal is going to expand in the hole and hold the two pieces of sheet metal together. So it's a way of joining metal, and people make whole pieces of jewelry. Actually, for hundreds and thousands of years, people have been doing this before soldering came along. You know, soldering requires an alloy and chemistry to make an alloy that will melt just before the parent metal. What is the parent metal? Well, that would be silver and that would be gold. Those are the parent metals. So when you put in a rod of metal, it could be brass or anything, or the same, it could be silver. It just must be exactly the same size as the hole. And then dramatically, you take your hammer, your plenishing hammer, or your tinsmith's hammer, and hit it and deform the top. And when you do that, there's metal backed up on the bottom. It could be your metal block, but most of the times it's like a big nail that comes to a point. The bottom of the rivet gets deformed too, and this is used in construction every day to hold bridges together. They have big machines that put there are hundreds and hundreds of rivets in bridges. If you ever looked at construction or buildings when they're being constructed, rivets are used all the time. But in jewelry, it's popular too, and it's actually a way to decorate metal. So some pieces of jewelry, pendants in general, or pins, they may drill a whole series of holes as a form of decoration, put in a rivet, and then take a second piece of metal, put it on, and deform the top of the rivet. It's called distorting the top, and you distort the bottom, and actually the rivet gets, because it's compressed, it gets wider, and it makes a very strong joint. So riveting is used in jewelry all the time. Well, this next project is based on riveting, so you're going to build it. But the trick is to integrate the rivet into the design so it makes the piece of jewelry handsome, okay? And you don't have to use the same metal. I mean, in silver, you could use silver rod, but you could also use brass or copper rod. And as long as the hole you drill is the same size as the tiny piece of wire that you put in, it will work. It makes a very strong connection. So remember, this has been used in construction for years. We're talking about hundreds of years. And that's the project that I cooked up for you for your first lesson online like this. And what I want you to do, what I'm requiring you to do, is I want you to take a piece of paper, since I gave you the theme of our project, I want you to give me several variations on the piece of paper, at least 8. So don't go under 8. I want 8 designs. And since the theme of this is going to be a cat, you can, and some of you love cats, so you would love to have a pendant like this. Recently, somebody who works at the school, who's a friend of mine, asked me to make her a cat pendant, and I started doing research right away, and I'm going to use the piercing saw. And I got several ideas now from the internet, and you can get your ideas off the internet as well. But I do want you to hand draw these, and I want you to do really nice drawings. And this will take you more than an hour, I'm sure. You're going to come up with 8 different designs. Don't do it all at one time. Work on it during this week, and then come back to it and come back to it again, and then cluster these designs. Did you hear what I said? Cluster the designs on one piece of paper. Now scan that paper, write in little descriptions, okay, on the paper, and put arrows and anything you need to explain what you're doing. But I want you to truly have an idea, okay? Here's the design part of the class. So this time that we're out of school right now is an excellent opportunity, because you're going to be home a lot, and it's also an exercise in thinking and being creative. So, but the subject matter, I'm giving you the subject matter as a cat, and then you see what you can do with it, and let rivets do its job in decorating your piece, all right? Now, you don't want to put it on excessively like Christmas balls on a Christmas tree. You want to use it strategically. So it would 2 rivets would make great eyes on a face, the face of a cat. So, and also how you're going to hold the body of the cat together. You have the body, the tail, the paws. You come up with something that's really serendipitous and beautiful and unthought of, and make this your own. And then you're going to take this page that you're going to send to me. I want you to send this to me at jerry.hochberg@gmail.com. So you're going to scan the page, your drawing. It always looks better in a scan. I don't know why, but scan it. It makes it darker. And then make sure your name is on it so I can give you credit for it. The block that you have me, write the block on it. Please write your name, write your nickname that I call you by, but also write your real name and what grade you're in, and definitely the block, the class that you're in. I'm going to gather your work on Thursday probably. You're going to receive this today. Or tomorrow I'm going to send this out, and then I would like to get this by Thursday. At the very latest, let's say the whole assignment is done at the end of the week, Friday. So Thursday you can start sending me in your ideas. You need time for this, and please don't rush it and make crummy little drawings. I want you to put your heart into it. Write nomenclature. Do you know what nomenclature is? It's a description. So write little arrows with description to tell me why you're putting rivets there and what your basic idea is. You can write a sort of a design brief at the beginning. Make sure this is titled as the Rivet Exercise, a cat, and just call it a cat. And put your name on it. And this is very important to me, because I'm really, I don't give you A, B's, and C's in this class, but I do assess your work, and I have some very, very great kids that love design and love art, and they go all the way. So I want you to explore the possibilities and do many ideas. So the least you can have on this piece of paper is 8. Please take your time to do this. It's due Friday, so that gives you plenty of time to do it. The school called me and asked me what my online presence is going to be, and this is it. I start out with a video each time explaining the whole project to you, and then you're going to be left to do it for the next class. So generally I'll collect your work every Thursday and Friday. So you'll need access to a scanner, and if you don't have one, possibly a neighbor or a friend does, and use their scanner and scan this into a JPEG file. Please don't send me PDFs, okay? Send me JPEGs. It's easy for me to rescan your work, and if I can see improvements that can be made, with my years of experience, then I'll write on and make some corrections, or maybe I'll send a few drawings to you. And I'm going to do this on an individual basis, and this is the way I'm going to be able to carry on our elective. And I really do miss you all. I'd love to be in the classroom. I never thought that I would be winding up to try to do this online. But this is a challenge for you because, first of all, you're learning a new thing. It's called riveting. And if it was class, I could just really demonstrate it for you. But attached to this video are 2 videos, and they're in a sequence of difficulty. So watch the videos. Don't just click on a video. There's 2 videos attached in this email. And look at the sequence. Look at the first one first and the second one second. And that's our lesson today. So this is the way your lessons are going to come. They're going to come in an email form like this, with a video from me personally to you, and then 2 videos that I've culled from YouTube, and both have degrees of sophistication. So look at them in the order that I gave them to you, all right? All right? So ultimately, this is what you're going to use riveting for. And you won't have a chance to do it now. We're not in our workshop, but you can plan it. So I'd like you to plan each shape that you're going to put together, the tail, the head, the paws of the cat. Try to get the character of a cat and try to make it something that's so good that it almost looks commercial. All right? And we're going to put this together, don't forget, with riveting. So that's why I'm teaching you this whole class is on cold connections. And riveting is just one kind of cold connection. We're going to get to another section which is going to be called tabs, and I'll show you that a little bit later. It's a bit more complicated than riveting. All right? Now when you rivet, you can use silver wire on silver, and you'll see the area that's been riveted. The little rivet head looks like a mushroom pushed down on the metal from both sides. So the riveting can be part of your decoration.